Today on the Garage Engineer, we make smoke, we drill a couple holes, we make the final preparations before we put the boat on the water. We're preparing the motor to get ready to put it out on the water. But before we do that, I'm changing out the oil, the gas oil mix. Before I had it using 2-cycle like lawnmower oil. The motor asked for SA30. This is SA30 but non-detergent, so I guess it's not like the newer stuff where they put some detergents in it. So this is more accurate towards the original oil that they had preferred. Someone in the comments had mentioned to use TC-W3. I guess that's a newer updated version of SA30. I guess different formula. I can try that next time, but right now we're just going to try it the old way. I'm going to start with a 24-to-1 mix, which is 5.5 ounces. The motor asked for 50-to-1, but a few people suggested 24-to-1, so we'll try that first. Especially being so old, it might need a little bit more oil in it to kind of lubricate everything. We'll see if it smokes or not. We'll go from there. So here we have our 90 octane non-ethylated gasoline, and then we've got a measuring cup. We're going to do 5.5 ounces there, and then we are going to here's our SA30 non-detergent oil. Here we're going to pour our 5.5 ounces of good old dinosaur juice. That's 4. That's about right. Here's our 1 gallon of fuel. Alright, let's go take this out and test it out. Alright, I'm burning off what was in here. See, we got our, that was left over, that was our 24-to-1 fuel. Still having a lot of smoke, so I mixed up some 50-to-1 like the instructions say on the motor, and we'll see if that will reduce the amount of smoke. But I think this is exhaust coming back through the cylinder heads, so I'm not sure yet. So this is a test, but it's running pretty well. I'm still trying to get used to the control of where we can idle at. I wish this had a neutral on it. This is a constant moving propeller. There's no forward, reverse, neutral, or anything. It's probably as slow as I can go. Probably just exhaust fumes, so I don't think we'll be able to fix that. I don't think the fuel mixture is going to do anything with that. It is what it is. Just an old motor. We've got the boat up off the ground. We've mounted her on 2 sawhorses here. I put a strap on the front here so we don't have any tipping with the motor. This is going to be the first time we're going to fit the motor onto the back of the boat. Let's give it a try. We got her on there. We had a few people's concern about the transom not being strong enough. I've got some support here. It may or may not be strong enough, I don't know. But the bigger issue is when I was building this boat, I did not have in mind what motor we were going to put on it. So I didn't know how high to make the transom. So I just kind of guessed, and we just did it like this. There's normally a rowboat scenario, but I wanted to make it a motorboat. So the issue we have, I think these are called the longer shafts. I don't know exactly. I made this water line up yet, figuring out that I would later change it if need be. So we're not really sure where the water line is going to be. I'm going to assume, let's say worst case scenario, it's up here. That means our exhaust ports are going to be in the water. So we probably need to raise this up at least 4-6 inches. So I might put an adapter, build an adapter that slides over here that we can screw into, and then put it on there. I'm not sure yet. For the first test ride, we might just, yeah, might be what we do. Well, then it's going to hit, once we raise it up, it's going to hit down here. So we might, you can see, right here is right up underneath the bow. So the issue is we'll probably just have to leave it then, and then we'll just, might have to tilt it up a little bit. I don't know yet. No, that's not the ideal situation, but right now we're just experimenting and testing. I do need to do one more thing, is we got to get, this didn't come with a control arm here, so we're going to have to fashion something out of something. I'm not sure yet. We'll go look in the scrap pile and find out. But here she is, finally. To make our motor guide, I guess it's not a tiller guide or rotor guide, but the guide so we can move the motor back and forth. It didn't come with a handle, so we're going to fashion one out of, this is 1/2-inch conduit, and we are going to do a little banging on it, drill some holes, and just make a simple little guide. Should be good enough. We just need about 6 inches of flatness. We're at 5. We'll go a little bit more here. Alright, let's go outside and we'll mark the holes. So here we are on the back of the motor. We're on the port side. And let me get you closer. See these 2 bolts right here? This is where it's mounted. I gotta figure out the name of that, but we will get our marker and we will, I don't know if we needed it, there's a little stop right there. We'll probably use that stop. So we need 1 hole here and 1 hole right about there. So from our State Find video that you can check out, I'll link here. One of the items was this Tap Magic, which is just a lubricating fluid for when you're trying to cut taps, but also we're going to use it for drilling holes to reduce the heat. So if you'll see right here, that's our objective. Get you a little closer. There we go. So we got our mark. That's pretty easy for, and we got this conduit pipe here. Alright, whenever drilling metal, I like to use a smaller drill bit, and then we will use the correct size. So let's see here. I think this is 1/4 inch. So this is what we are doing here. I can get it to focus. There we go. So here's the bolt, and I just match it up and just look down the sight there and see if it's the drill bit's big enough. Ooh, sorry, if the drill bit's big enough. Come on, focus. To see if the drill bit's big enough right here. So if you look closely, it's close, so we'll see if it'll fit. See that smoke? That's why. It means we're burning the bit up. So we need just a little bit more. Tap magic. There you go. It's a little hot. It's getting a little hot. We'll add a little bit more. Now, I always used, instead of having tapping solution, to use a motor oil. It's not the best, but it'll do in a pinch. So I'm pretty excited to have actual tapping fluid or lubricating fluid. And that works pretty good, right on the money. Let's go back outside and we'll get this set up. Alright, jumping back outside. Let's go ahead and take this bolt off. You know what? I bet that's what I should have notched right there. It probably goes around that post. You know what? We might redo it. But for now, let's just see if we can get this thing working. I might do that. Must be a good sign. In Georgia, we get these ladybugs. Oh, there he goes. During the winter, all over the place. And then they come in your house because it's warmer inside your house than outside. All right, we'll work on that. But you get the idea. Now we just basically will figure out the length, probably about right here. But I'm wondering if I want to cut one of the holes to go around this post to help kind of support it some more. So I might shift things back. So I'm not going to cut this yet. So I'll check that out and I'll bring it back. Okay, so this is what we decided to do. I just opened the second hole up so it'll fit over that. That was a 1/2 inch. And then these other ones, I just re-drilled these holes right here and lined them up, so that should work just fine. Just fine. Yeah, that fits much better. I wanted to have this hole because that kind of gives it more support, not just on the bolts, but up and down, I guess, is what it's supposed to be for. Now, I guess the problem is I'm not going to be able to tilt the motor up. Oh, yeah, a little bit. So I'm going to I can't make the handle too long if I'm going to be able to mount it. So let's make it, I mean, it usually, let's see here. Normally, it's about right here, but I think I'm going to cut it a little bit longer. So we took our handle to the bench, we cut it off to the length that we wanted to, and cover the end. I covered it with a little bit of good old duct tape, so we got that. So let's go put that onto the motor now. This was our first hole, so we're skipping that one. The bigger hole goes onto the post right here, and then we got our two corresponding holes to the threaded nut. There's one. And two. So it's not the original. It's not perfect, but it'll do. There you go. So now we have a little bit of control. Not much. There you go. If we need to lift the motor up, we've got enough room. So that'll work. Now we're at a point to get the boat on the water. We got the motor running. The boat's ready to go. So now we're going to go test it on the lake to see if it floats. So watch the next video to see if we get wet. Thanks for watching, and remember the ABCs of making. Always be creating. See you next time.